Tommy was a curious 8-year-old boy with messy brown hair and a gap-toothed smile. He lived in a small town where nothing exciting ever seemed to happen. But today was different. Today, Tommy was going on his very first trip to visit his grandparents in the big city. As Tommy packed his little red suitcase, he wondered what adventures awaited him. He carefully tucked in his favorite teddy bear, Mr. Whiskers, and his lucky baseball cap. The next morning, Tommy and his parents boarded a shiny silver train. As the train chugged along, Tommy pressed his nose against the window, watching fields and forests whiz by in a blur of green. Suddenly, the train screeched to a halt. The conductor announced there was a herd of cows on the tracks. While they waited, Tommy decided to explore the train. He tiptoed down the aisle, peeking into different compartments. In one, he met an old lady knitting a scarf that seemed to go on forever. In another, he saw a magician practicing card tricks. Tommy was having so much fun that he almost forgot about his suitcase. When he returned to his seat, Tommy was horrified to find his suitcase was gone. Panic set in as he imagined Mr. Whiskers lost forever. Just then, a girl with pigtails poked her head out from the seat behind. "Is this your suitcase?" she asked, holding up the little red bag. "It slid under our seat when the train stopped." Tommy was overjoyed. He thanked the girl, whose name was Lily, and they became fast friends. They spent the rest of the journey sharing stories and playing games. When the train finally arrived in the big city, Tommy's eyes widened at the towering buildings and bustling streets. His grandparents were waiting at the station with big hugs and even bigger smiles. Over the next week, Tommy had the time of his life. He visited a zoo and saw real-life elephants, rode to the top of the tallest building in a super-fast elevator, and even tried sushi for the first time. Though he still preferred peanut butter sandwiches. Every night, Tommy would tell Mr. Whiskers about his day's adventures, and every morning, he'd wake up excited for what new experiences awaited him. On the last day of his trip, Tommy's grandfather gave him a special gift, a small snow globe of the city. "Whenever you shake it," Grandpa said, "remember the adventures you had here and the new ones waiting for you back home." As Tommy boarded the train for his return journey, he felt different. He wasn't just Tommy from the small town anymore. He was Tommy the adventurer, ready to find excitement wherever he went. Back home, Tommy's friends gathered around as he told tales of his big city adventure. He showed them the snow globe, and as the tiny snowflakes swirled, Tommy realized something important. Adventures weren't just about the places you went, but the way you looked at the world around you. From that day on, Tommy saw his small town with new eyes. Every day became an adventure, whether he was exploring the creek behind his house or helping Mrs. Johnson at the corner store. And whenever he needed inspiration, he'd give his snow globe a little shake. Remembering that the biggest adventures often start with the smallest steps. As Tommy drifted off to sleep that night, hugging Mr. Whiskers tight, he smiled. He couldn't wait to see what adventure tomorrow would bring.